Hello, welcome to The Mouth of Truth, the live stream from behind the scenes of Ren, the Girl with the Mark. How is everyone doing? It's been a few months since we've done one of these, and I can't believe it. I feel so old, but today, and that went really, really well. We had some very hot weather, but it went fantastically well. We built a very, very elaborate set, and I'm sure we will be talking much more about that on future live streams and on Patreon and all the usual channels. There's lots more to tell you about that shoot. But the other 3 episodes of season 3, when are they happening? Well, they're going to be happening in the spring, all being well. And I'm here to tell you we're going to be launching an Indiegogo campaign in early November to fund those 3 episodes. And in the description of this video, there is a link to the pre-launch page for that Indiegogo. Go along to that page, sign up, put your email address in there, and you'll get notified as soon as we go live. And that will really help us out. All right. I'll come back to that a little bit later on, but now is time to bring on our guests and talk about that very first Ren shoot 10 years ago. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, would you like to introduce yourselves, starting with Chris?
Yes, my name is Christopher Dane. I am co-creator of this mayhem that is Ren, that started, well, filming 10 years ago, but it really started probably 13 years ago, when myself and Kate Madison started this whole project. So, yeah, that's me.
Alan?
Sure. Well, I'm Alan Hay. I played Torberry in season 1. And in season 2, I was on the other side of the camera as third AD on at least 2, maybe 3 of the episodes. And yes, we're looking forward to what's coming next.
And finally, who is that young man at the bottom there?
Hello, I'm James. I played Baynon in season 1.
Oh
That's
my
me.
God.
That is me.
Baynon.
If you can believe it.
That just makes us all feel very old.
Oh,
And he's still not found my hat.
I've still got it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to see you. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Mike. Hello, Diana. Sorry to hear. It seems like the video is very jumpy. I'm not sure what I can do about that. According to YouTube, the stream has an excellent connection. Yeah. Hopefully it's a little bit better on playback. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure what I can do to troubleshoot that. Anyone else, let me know if can you hear us all right? Can you follow what we're saying? I guess that's the main thing. Smoother now, Eric says. Fantastic. Hello. Oh, hi, Hans. Hans is another person that helped out with season 1, of course, and 2 and 3. He came over twice for the recent block of filming. Hello, Hans. Great to see you in the chat there. Smoother now, says Diana. Fantastic. Good. Sounds like it's stabilized. Okay. Well, before we go any further, let's just jog our memories and see exactly what we were doing on the set of Ren exactly 10 years ago today. The Go-Go Camp. Yeah, I think we were still fiddling with Duran's hairstyle as Hunter.
Yeah, that hadn't really been decided. So I think the first half of that day was basically figuring out what his look was going to be. Probably wasn't that bad. It gave the rest of us a bit of a time to figure out what we were doing. So that's probably okay.
Hello, you having fun?
Good old DTS there.
Yeah.
Stunt performers.
Well, it also was just straight into like baptism of fire. That it was straight into an elaborate fight scene.
That was the first thing you did. Wow.
Yeah. And instead of doing a little two-hander scene with a couple of people just chatting, no, let's go straight straight for fighting.
Cool. It was probably 3 or 4 days before I rocked up.
Yes, indeed. We'll see in a little bit what I believe was your first day and James's and mine, in fact. And I think this is.
I forget you weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there the first few days.
Yeah.
I was in America. So this is Richard Roberts and Deborah, was it, on the other camera?
Yeah, on B-cam. Yeah, I think it was.
So that is literally the first take that was filmed. Kate's mum there, a little cameo.
Yep.
There's Richard Roberts. And a very young looking Mr. Dane there as well.
Yeah, who was that? Strapping chap there. Doing first ADing and second ADing and whatever.
Hello, Kate. She's still connecting to audio. There you go. Hello, Kate.
No.
I was watching the stream, so I got very confused about who I was talking to then, because I was like, I'm delayed.
On a delay. As usual. So, how's it going?
Wait, delayed? What are you talking about?
No.
So, what do you remember about that first day of filming, Kate?
Stressing of like, what are we doing? Because we started, as you kind of were saying, we didn't exactly start with something simple, but it was kind of because we didn't, I mean, I think with most things, we didn't have much of a choice. We had who we had, and that was Fight People and Duran and some extras. And it was like a Thursday. So, and obviously things are very slow to get going. We hadn't had time to do like, we'd done sort of costume stuff and we've been working on costume, but we haven't really sort of done a full test on everything. So the day was spent trying to figure out, is this Hunter's look? Is he going to look like that? So you see in the fight rehearsals that they were doing, that was sort of planning what we were going to shoot, but we weren't completely, like Duran and myself and various, we weren't really, like, the look of Hunter wasn't quite working, and obviously they also didn't have much time to do a fight sequence. So the reason we did that barrel shot was there was a lot, we were spending a lot of time working on like how the look's going to be, and we had all these extras who'd come on in the middle of a week, and it was like, and I think I went, we're not going to do the fight stuff, this is a fight rehearsal, this is good, we'll shoot the fight tomorrow, but we need time to like rehearse it anyway. We figured out the look for Hunter, and I wanted to move on to actually use our extras and stuff. And I think, like, to be honest, I think considering all of the stuff going on and how much we had to do and the size of the project and all of the people involved, I actually love the fact that that's the first shot, because it's so dynamic, and like it just sort of like kind of goes, oh, this is Ren. This is like kind of rogue characters and things and like village and like action. It kind of like, in one kind of moment, I think it kind of helps go, this is what we're doing. This is kind of cool. Yeah, we did. I think we also, because we had the because we also had the fight guys. So we did the chase jumping over the barrel, cool shot, did it in slow motion, looked great, love it. And I think we also did the cheese table flip as well. So we started with a lot of kind of crazy action stuff, and it shows as well how that chase/fight sequence was done over a number of different days, number of different times, and all pieced together in the edit. Kind of crazy, but it's cool. I still love that shot. Like, so it's kind of cool that it's the first one. I like it.
Yeah. So James, can you remember how you got cast?
Oh yeah. It's sort of a weird story because I remember like a friend of my family was auditioning for a different part, and she suggested that I should audition as well because they've got this character that's like a kid. James should go for it. So um, I didn't really have that much acting experience at that point, except for like I had acted in a play that she had been in, that she had written, sorry, and directed. A couple of years before, hadn't really done any acting since. So she just suggested I audition, and I went along um, and what I found out in mid audition was that uh, there was a script that I was supposed to have seen beforehand, and I hadn't seen the script. So like, I was in the audition, and it was like, right, off you go then, and I just like, what, like, completely froze up, had no idea what was going on. So I did sort of like made the most of it while I was there. Did an audition with script in hand. And then I went home with the script and was asked to come back and do it again, having memorized a scene or two. I can't remember. Um, and yeah, that the
And that
second
was the
one was a
introduction
normal
to the whole
audition.
process of the filming.
Yeah,
You see a script, you memorize the scene, you film it, and then move on.
yeah. I guess so. I guess so.
It was it was such an interesting thing because we had gotten in these essentially professional child actors from a theatre sort of school and things, and they'd obviously all come. They had the scripts and stuff like this, and then poor James came in and was like, what? I just remember but the fact that you were able to like push through that, you were such a trooper about it. You were able to like hold yourself together and do it with the script, and like it didn't crazily phase you. It kind of and you did such a good job of it. Like that first time, and we just wanted to give you more of a chance, I think, that second time round, so that we could see you without having to like literally sight read, because that's never fun for anyone. But yeah, it was really interesting, and it felt really bad that you didn't know what the heck you were doing, but you did a freaking amazing job.
Oh, thank you. It didn't phase me because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I was like,
I hadn't like processed this. The panic didn't set in because like I was just confused. I was like, yeah.
Was it as well, Kate? Was it as well that we were kind of not completely sure whether it should be a sister, brother as well? So they were like,
yeah, we auditioned a lot of different kids because I think it was partly because we weren't completely sure what would work best, and I think we were also trying to keep our options open as to, because it's hard finding actors in general, and finding a child actor who is able to pull off the sort of things that we're going to be asking them to do was going to be tough. And so yeah, we auditioned both boys and girls for the role, and saw some great. I remember there was some great girls that weren't quite right for this role, but I definitely at the time, and it's like, oh, they'll all be too old now. But there were some ones that I was like, ooh, that could be a different character or a young version of, and I like was casting some of them for future series at the time. But yeah, we saw a lot of different kids, and they were all amazing. But James stood out as being very. So I'm talking about you when you're right there. But I just thought it was so good that you, and maybe it was because you didn't like come from the theater school, and so you were just much more natural. Like a lot of the others were very acty, and maybe again because you hadn't seen it, so you hadn't had time to go over and over and over it, where you can end up being very mechanical, and so maybe that worked in your favor too. But it was just, yeah, you were just so much more natural, with everything. And it was like, no, this is going to be a good fit. And you
Also,
seem to get
some of
on
these-
well with everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of these kids from the schools and stuff like that, they also have parents who think they're directors.
Yeah. So
so
they drill it. a
They
certain
sort of
way.
drill the script in before an audition and tell them, oh, and you should do this and and then the kids kind of lose that authenticity and that kind of spontaneity.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was very much left to it, left to my own device.
But
I
it's,
mean,
but it's
I
definitely
remember,
a good thing.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the car like on the way to the set with my dad driving and like going over the script with him. I remember doing that, but he would never like suggest how to say something, you know. It's very just like let me do my thing, which was awesome.
It was very cool. Yeah. I feel like I remember actually, because of all the stuff going on, I feel like we upset you at one point. I feel like there was a crying moment and it was like, oh no. And I can't remember completely what, maybe because there was just so much confusion going on.
I was a pretty emotional kid, so anything, it could have been anything.
It could have been anything, but again, the fact that you came back and you went for it, and it was, it's a big thing for anyone. So you were a freaking trooper. Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Still am, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But you're not a kid anymore.
Not a kid
Yeah,
anymore.
so
But now,
I'm still a trooper, but it's not impressive anymore. So
yeah. Sorry, now you're an adult and no
Yeah.
one cares.
I'm just expected to be a trooper.
Yeah. That's
fair.
life. No one gives you a little star anymore. Damn it.
I noticed that.
Yep.
Don't worry, you can make your own rules.
Life.
You
It's
make
so
your own
sad.
star chart.
That's true. Order a big.
Absolutely.
Pages.
Hey, I did the
Star.
washing up today. I get a star for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
should
need
do
that.
But speaking of you said you're an emotional child, and I just remember, I don't know if we're jumping ahead, but I just remember the scene that you did. Well, I suppose we can't spoil anything.
Well, we can spoil stuff for season 1. It's been 8 years since it
that's the
shows
thing.
me now. Come on.
So in the death scene of someone, I won't say who, we didn't have the who was
Oh, yeah, right.
and I stood in for that person, and
Yeah.
I remember Kate sort of talking to you, James, about, okay, and you'll come from over there, and Ren is with you, and it's quite sad and stuff like that. And I was sitting down. It was pretty cold, I think, as well, probably.
Yeah.
And then with sort of action scene, and you both walked in. I sort of looked at Sophie and then looked at you, and you had tears like streaming down your face. And like, Jesus Christ, okay, here we go. And that emotion was definitely there to sort of be tapped into, and that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, I guess there's multiple factors that went into that. Like, partly it was like just the atmosphere on set was quite like
tear-inducing.
Yeah, everyone was crying.
Just let me go.
Yeah.
No, but I remember it was quite somber because it was in the middle of the night as well, and it was quite quiet, and
I remember it really well. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you're not like a baby, so you're like you look so different to us, but it's probably really.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have forgotten quite a lot, but it was obviously an emotional moment for me because the tears were real. So I was feeling emotional as well as acting emotional. So I guess it stuck in my memory a bit more. But also I remember my method was to imagine my cats and my old hamster trying to escape a burning building. Or just trying to escape a fire, and they couldn't escape, and it really upset me. And
oh wow,
yeah, I don't know where that came to me, but
well, that's the one time when I'll think method acting is okay.
yeah,
but that's interesting because again, you didn't have to give me 20 minutes. I need to go and listen to a CD and get myself in the zone. We were just carrying on with thing. And as Chris said, it was that moment. None of us you were sort of just off with Sophie. We were just prepping everything, trying to make it right because I think we were doing it as literally the sun was going down. We were trying to get that real. Were we trying to get the real sunset?
I think every take I had to add a little bit more artificial light. I think it was all artificial by the end of it.
So time was ticking, various things like and another, and it was that sort of movie magic as well, where we were not in the same place as anywhere else. Like we'd shifted around to try and catch the actual light. So there was no sort of set to work with. Again, no one on the ground to really act with and stuff. So we were all sort of worrying about all this technical stuff, and then it was just action. In comes James with actual tears, and I think we all at the moment I was just like and it was just like, okay, let him have his thing. It was like, what the heck? It was very, very impressive, and beautiful. Like such a great moment. We so much that we didn't even get the reverse on Sophie, that we had to get a whole year later.
Oh yeah, the pickup shoot.
Yeah, the pickup shoot is the opposite, like crazy thing of film.
I remember the pickup shoot. I remember the pickup shoot, and I remember like I sort of did the same thing again to try and make myself cry, even though the camera wasn't going to be on me. And I remember like coming back to set like with tears on my face, like right, I'm ready to start filming, and you were just like, we're not ready yet. We're start filming for like an hour.
Okay.
I mean, that's like my fault. I don't know why I didn't check when it was gonna be. But I was too excited to cry. Let me just keep this
going for an hour.
Yeah.
Premature crying.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. Bless you. Yeah, but that's like fantastic as well. Like the fact that you had that. Like there are adult actors who like give nothing to their co-star when the camera's not on them. So the fact that you were so willing to give for Sophie when basically it's the back of your head in shot, and maybe we'll catch a little bit, but it's freaking amazing.
I think I had any concept of camera angles or anything.
Yeah, you would.
I was just like, oh, this is the scene where I cry. So
which is again, maybe that's a good. Maybe we need to stop actors from knowing where the camera is. It's just act. Just do what you would do normally. Stop worrying about whether your face is on screen. Yeah. Oh man. Crazy times.
Yeah. Well, let's jump back a little bit in the shoot now. Let's have a look at day 4.
Sorry.
That's
day 4.
It's fine. It's a non-linear narrative. It's all good. So I think this was the first day for me, for James, and for Alan, as far as I can tell.
Can't hear it.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear it.
No,
that's
we can't.
fine.
It was pretty quiet when I was watching the live stream. But
so we can talk
doable.
over it. A little bit in the shoot now. Let's have a look.
24.
Day
4.
Fine. It's a non-linear narrative. Okay, who's that guy? Good. So I think Colin, I gather.
Yeah. Are you crazy? Sunglasses.
This is back when I thought eclipse glasses were a good way of telling when the sun's going to come out. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. But how sci-fi do you look? Well.
Yeah, those were the days where we had all the sun in the world.
As most people who've watched any of the behind the scenes know, that the weather was our biggest bane on season 1. Like this was actually a sunny day, but so much of the time we had rain.
I remember wasn't there a hurricane or something like that
we had a hurricane blow down a bunch of the sets.
Oh, there it is.
Yay! Good day. Yeah, it's cool.
Hasn't changed a bit.
But kind of crazy. So this was this your first day as well, James? Did we say?
So. I think so. Yeah.
This is the hat stealing. This is because this was the weekend. So when we had most of our extras, so our weekends were our like get as many extras as possible to make this village look like there's people who live there.
So I think this was actually my second time on set. The very first day on set for me was a crowd scene. right at the end of the day, a reaction shot. And then this was the second day, I think, for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember so this was day 4, you said. What date did it say what day it was? Was it a Saturday or Sunday? I don't know.
It did, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I needed like a little thing of all the different things for the schedule. But yeah, it was definitely one of our big ones. There was a schedule.
Sunday.
There's a big whiteboard of a schedule. There's photographs. There's evidence. It just had to keep changing a lot. But yeah, this was quite a big scene day. When we actually had a lot of people.
This was a Sunday, says Hans in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Hans. You're just paying attention. Yeah.
You can see it's the first day Neil is on, or one of the first days, because there's smoke everywhere.
Yeah. Suddenly we have smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, and a rare-ish day when we had everybody. Yeah.
Oh, the infamous hat. There we go. Hey.
Trying to dress the sets and keep them the same.
Have you had a good day?
Have people
Been running around being Baynon. You still got mud on your face.
Yes, I have.
Awesome.
so many amazing people.
I thought James's first day was when he was doing this whole speech to a completely.
That might have been the day before then.
That was day.
I think that was. I remember.
That was the next day, I think.
I think it was the next day because I remember my first day being a day with lots and lots of extras.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Being quite.
Yeah, same here.
The speech was with. No, you're right. The speech wasn't with. Hold on. No, we did the speech a number of times. This is why I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did the speech with a lot of extras, but when we did your close-ups, it was like nobody there, just me shouting. Or I think some other people might have joined in, but I have a very well-worn tiny script that was endlessly used to read in everyone else because nobody was ever there at the same time. Yeah. Nuts. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, season 1 or seemed to be at the time we're filming almost entirely composed of the two big scenes in the market square, right? The actual market and then the trial, and it just seemed like there were weeks and weeks of just filming those two scenes. Come back to it with one, film another person.
Yeah. I think it was scene 7. I feel like scene 7 is burnt into my brain as one that was broken up into so many different, because it was all about the shots of we need this angle, this person, and maybe I wonder if I say scene 7 is a bit vague, but I don't know. There was certain scenes, like you say, where we had to get Dagron has to react to Sophie on the thing. She needs to do her, and everyone was separate, like getting anyone together. This shot near the end when we have everyone huddling to leave, when Sophie jumps off the dais sort of thing, and you guys have that and Torberry has the moment with Ran. That was one of those rare occasions when we actually had everyone together. Most of the rest of the time it was just little bits and little bits and little bits. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember Sophie telling that story, that it must have been one of her first days as well, when she has that little exchange with Dagron sitting by his little stall and then berating Baynon, and James wasn't there. So her first scene with her brother, he wasn't there, and she was like, I had no idea how tall he would be, what he looked like, or whatever. And she's like,
yeah,
come on.
because you hadn't met at all. Oh, so we must have done that, in between. So that was probably on like the Friday or Saturday before James turned up on the Sunday or so. Yeah. I forget that. So that's the thing. We've shoot so many different angles that, although we just saw that and clearly James was there, he weren't there when we shot, I think, some of her close-ups and stuff.
Yeah, close-ups.
Yeah. God. Sorry, it's interesting remembering it all. Yeah.
But while we're at that, sort of, we have to do a big shout out to all the extras
Oh, heck yeah.
that came in and totally made the thing work.
Yeah.
Because without those people, and sometimes they were like 30, 40, and sometimes they were 10 or whatever, but every time it just made it, people milling around in the background is what makes a scene really work. And it's just a big shout out to those guys, because and if you want to do an interesting thing when you watch those scenes, just look at the extras and not the foreground. Look at the extras and see how the average age of this village
fluctuates.
Goes from in the high 60s one moment to next cut to like 16 and 17-year-olds.
Because, so to clarify that as well, when you spot the whoa, this is a very young village suddenly, it's because we got this drama group come in, they bust in a whole young theater kind of drama group. I can't quite remember from where and stuff, which is annoying, but yeah. And so suddenly it was clearly a non weekend. That was the thing. So that was, yeah. And it's, well, it's when the commander and Dagron have their moment. At least it's one of those moments. Again, because we shot various times, but yeah, and you'll see a lot of 20-year-olds walking around, or even younger. Yeah.
First of all, it was great that they came and stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think it was their teacher who got in touch with production stuff. I can't remember, but anyway,
Michelle might have done her amazing magic and been calling around.
Maybe, but it was just incredible. And I know from some of those guys and from the teachers that they learned so much from being on set.
Just being there.
Yeah, and sometimes you have extras. Not in our case, because everyone did it because they wanted to come, but sometimes they're extras and they're just there to be extras, and sometimes they get very bored very quickly. And these guys were just completely into it, because it was for them a learning experience as well as they got to dress up, but they also saw all the mechanics of filmmaking, which is the same whether it's Christopher Nolan or Cade Madison that's directing. And all the mechanics are the same. There's a camera, there's sound, there's movement, there's actors and all that sort of thing. It's all the same whether you have £1 to do it or you have 100 million to do it. It's basically the same.
You're standing on a barrel doing this.
Yeah. I was directing traffic.
I've got a black sheet over my head because the camera doesn't have a viewfinder.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very similar, though. Very similar.
But yeah. So anyways, good shout out to all of those guys who turned up.
Yeah. I mean, and to some of them who've come back time and again, and people like Hans, like Michael Hudson, Richard Sockett, Tony Chule, Greg Satterford, who are still sort of part of the extended Wren family.
Have we said that there's a drinking game that when you watch Wren you need to drink every time you see a repeated extra? No? Well, there you go. There's a new challenge for you. Yeah,
I think there's if you look carefully, I think there was one or two folk who are in most episodes. I think
there
probably
is
name one or two that are in the vast, maybe in pretty much every episode.
Yeah, it's some very loyal and amazing people who are I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Yeah, I mean there were, and I'll apologise to them again now, but there were one or two people who applied to be extras in the recent block of season 3, and I just had to say, look, we really appreciate your loyalty, but we need different faces. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we can't have the same people. It's like, how did they end up there when they were there? That's the thing. Yeah.
And a lot of people inside those Knath uniforms are inside the Knath uniforms because they're too recognizable from other scenes.
Yeah. Diana in the chat is saying, and this is where we'll see who read the email about what you're allowed to say and what you're not. She says, will any of you
felt
or
like I
other
nearly
cast
said
members
something just now.
will any of you or other cast members from season 1 have a cameo in season 3?
Interesting question.
James is coming back.
Yeah.
There's a time
Flashing
traveling
forward 10
episode,
years.
and well,
There's
no,
a
we're going to
flash-
reveal Ren's older brother, who looks surprisingly like a younger brother.
There's a flash forward.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love that.
I
That'd be
don't
awesome.
know. Yeah, I mean, it would be freaking amazing to get you back. I just, yeah. How do we do
Right way
it?
to
But
do
you, we did. I mean, I remember we had this thought a bunch over the years when we were trying to get the season 2 up and running. It was like, can we just stick him on his knees somehow? I don't know, it's gonna work.
Put everyone else on stilts.
Yeah.
I think
False
we would
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we would be the first production to try and de-age a 20-year-old.
Heck, we'll try it. Yeah. I don't know.
I think we should let Neil do the spoilers because then it's his fault.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not answering. I literally feel like I nearly said something just now and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna not speak.
Yeah, no, erring on the side of caution. It's good. I can
about season
tell you,
1, right?
Khan will be back. Chris will be back as Khan in season 3. You will see. Yeah. So there you go. There's your little spoiler for now. Let's have a little look at day 16. Skipping forward to October now.
Oh,
We got-
let's see how the weather is on this one.
Getting colder.
This was another Sunday, okay.
so we got-
Yeah, good morning and welcome to the set of my new
But then the next one.
blockbuster action thriller
Oh, yes.
adventure. I'm the Reninator.
I wish I could
and
hear
I am
that.
the Reninator. Yeah, I'm the hero of
We
this
have to go
place.
back and watch all of
Big
these. It's been a
explosion.
while.
And I fall to here.
It doesn't look that much
And I
different, does
get
it?
up. And the
No.
bad guy
Two,
is there, so I pull out my sword because I'm the hero. I am
Still
the
the same. He's not
wearing the sunglasses. Well, he has hopefully he has slightly better prosthetics for his explosion.
There's me eating the flapjack.
This is all our piecemeal stuff again.
Yeah.
We're doing all our little bits with Richard before he disappears.
Well, that's it. Yeah, probably should explain that Richard was living in Prague, wasn't he, at the time? And
Yes.
sort of had
Yes,
to
for
fly
season
him.
1 he was living in Prague, yeah.
Yeah, so we had to fly him in and only had him like certain
Yeah, we had
two or three blocks of days. Was it 2?
Did we? Well, I'm trying to think now whether we. So this is October. Yeah, so we had him in October because all of the interiors were shot in the October half term because to help with James. So because I don't think we would have thrown him in twice. So I think it was like, how can we do this? So we need him for the interiors and we need him for exteriors. And as we remarked when we were chatting once recently, like that his very first day, I think his like off the flight first day, I don't think it was this one. But,
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
He did a costume test and we were like, Richard, can we just get a shot of you? And literally got him straight away on set doing something. There was nobody else around. I think it was a Duran day. We got him doing his walk up the dais, look, see Hunter and give a kind of and then walk back down again. And that was his very first shot, literally after doing a little costume test and things. Like, he had no idea that we were going to shoot that day. We had no idea, but we're just like, we got to do this shot at some point. Let's just do it now. We've got a moment. So that's just how we had to roll. Sometimes it was like, well, we need this shot. Like, we have limited time. Let's just get it today, right now. So kind of crazy.
I think his second day was like a 2-page monologue or something.
Oh God, yeah, was that? That's right, probably.
Well,
With
you just
loads
had
of
to
all
do
the
this-
extras and bless. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. That was possibly because that was another Sunday, so it was probably the Saturday. So he probably arrived on Friday, got up and did that shot before the sun disappeared, and then Saturday was like, now give this epic speech God bless him. And
It's
then
the Craig David approach to acting.
baptism by fire is definitely how we roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw James there tied to a post. Do you remember spending
That
a
was
lot
a
of
day
time
off. He
tied
wasn't
to that
filming.
post?
I remember being tied to a post. I remember being quite ill on that day, I think.
Oh, that's right. You were so sick, and I don't think we realized how ill you were.
Well, it was fine because I had a flapjack behind my back. I was tied to a post
That made it okay.
holding a flapjack because my hands are tied, so no one could. Well, they weren't actually tied, but they were,
I
behind
think
the
you were
post.
holding a little bit of rope or something, weren't you, so that you could.
Yeah, yeah. And so, in between takes, just munching on my flapjack, I was happy as anything. That was great.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing at one point from your dad that it was like, oh, he's not feeling very well. I sort of realized, oh, I think he's actually not very well. And bless him, he's still here doing this with all this stuff around. And
I mean, I wasn't
Oh,
at the
man.
age where I had a choice. Like, I was just being carted around.
Poor child services.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least we gave you a flapjack. I mean, what more can you want?
Yeah, it might have even had two. I don't know. Like,
Well, don't push the boat out too much.
And
But
I think they were homemade ones as well. I think someone, because we had that
Yeah,
oven
I
that
think-
we'd hired in the studio. I think Michelle or someone.
oh, that's right.
made
There
them.
was some really nice flapjacks at one
I
point.
remember it was good.
Mm.
I feel like I haven't checked, but like, because that's the same scene where like obviously the wind is.
Yeah.
I don't when maybe you can see like flapjack crumbs and
Mix it in. It's still
Yeah.
part of the
Well,
special
funnily enough,
effects.
when we were doing the visual effects for that stuff, we dropped. I think Alan helped with this out in the back garden
Yeah.
one night. We dropped oats and all kinds of weird things past.
We
camera
threw all
to-
sorts
to
past the camera.
superimpose.
Oats and flour and like the hose, water and things, and
And
just trying to get the
I
particles.
remember on the just before because did a whole bunch of experiments for that flaming torch that was extinguished. Did a whole bunch of experiments like for an hour or so before it was shooting to try to figure out how much fuel to use and how much wind we had and how close the wind machine could be so that it would be extinguished reliably.
Yeah, I was very
Yeah.
worried about safety as well with James there,
Yeah,
or
there's
just
a lot of
everyone
fire
there.
extinguishers on standby because that was a lot of straw.
Buckets of water, yeah. Despite how damp it had been and stuff, it was just like health and safety is always a big, But yeah, so it was like make sure that's why I think you were just holding a piece of rope. It was like he's not tied. No one's tying him up. He can escape. Everyone can escape. And yeah, and I think in the end actually with all of those tests. Oh, because that's what we did. I think we couldn't put it out with the flame. With the fan, Alan. If I remember rightly. What we actually did in the end for that shot was we lit the torch, and then like at least for the sort of the moment of it going out with the close up of the torch, I smothered it with some damp leather, I think, and then it was brought in sort of smoking.
Yeah.
And we then kind of we comped. We actually
added a
did
flame in, yeah.
we added the flame in and then put it out so that we had that smoke. So it's kind of just gone out was like the easiest way to do it. And then we added some extra thing. And that seemed to work pretty well. But yeah, definitely a decent amount of fire on set considering how flammable the set. Although as Chris and I will remember, when we finally were finished with the set, we'd sprayed so much flame retardant stuff on it to try and stop anything from catching, especially around the fireplace interior. When we were destroying some of the set, because some of it we could recycle and things, but there was a lot we couldn't. We tried to burn it on bonfires, and there was definitely a whole chunk of stuff that took a long time to burn because it was like resistant to fire because we'd made it that way. So it was like, oh, this stuff is never going to disappear.
Good to know it works.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
Yes, and we are still burning stuff for Ren to this day. Yeah, we had some fire scenes. back in July, which were good fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alan, what can you remember about getting the part? Because obviously you knew Kate and Chris, you'd been in Board of Hope, but you had to audition for the part, didn't you?
Absolutely. And it was quite late in the day. I remember I was at the Edinburgh Festival, uh, doing a just doing a play up there, and I got an email. I don't remember if it was from Kate or Michelle saying, "Hey, we've got this part." I think it was. I think Torberry was a fairly late addition to the script, as far as I could gather. And so I was being auditioned later than others, is what I understand. And I self-taped for it at the Fringe with a couple of my co-actors up at that were doing the play with me up there, and sent that in. Just kept my fingers crossed because it was certainly a bigger project than I'd ever done on screen before. And I was aware of the project, and we talked about it a lot. I think I'd been involved in some of the discussions, and I was expecting to come along and help with some of the scenes as well at various points. And I didn't expect for a moment to get a chance to be in it, and so I was delighted to get the opportunity to read the script, and then I got a message thing saying that I was cast, and next thing I know, I was in the costume and area that was meeting the whole team, and yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind. So yeah, that was phenomenal.
A potato farmer, wasn't it?
A potato farmer, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, a whole cart of potatoes. That cart, another game you can play. Bought the cart.
That was one of the little dog carts, wasn't it? And that became the home of some mice or something, I think. Oh no, was it? It wasn't yours. Wait a minute.
That was the cart. The cart.
Did you have
beats or something? Or...
No, there was beets. Because you and Richard were like fighting over you were the potato farmer and he was the beets farmer, I think it was.
That's right.
Yeah,
when
we emptied the beets thing out, we found like nests, mites and stuff like that.
They'd have been having a very good time.
Oh, they had a brilliant time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just an aside on the potato thing, I remember there was obviously something on YouTube. Someone saying, "Oh, I think you'll find that there were no potatoes in medieval Europe at the time," and like, we're not in medieval Europe.
My excuse for everything is why I like doing fantasy, because I can be like, yeah, I know that looks Viking, but it's not. And I know that looks medieval, but it's not. And I can just take all the things I kind of like from different eras and I put them together, and you can't tell me it's wrong.
The thing, I've got a little bugbear. I don't think we did this, but a little bugbear that in fantasy series, when it's not set on Earth, it's when you get a shot of the moon and it's our moon. That really irritates me because it means it is Earth. Anyway,
how do you know that the moon doesn't look this like maybe there's a similar moon looking thing?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there is a shot of the moon in red, so I guess we do it.
To see.
Yeah.
Make a different moon.
Yeah. All right.
Noted, Alan. Noted.
Yeah. Okay. Let me take notes. Next production, change the moon.
But to me, though, as soon as if you see a different moon, then it's suddenly sci-fi because it's therefore on a different planet.
Yeah. Well, because you suddenly do. Even though as Alan says, it's like it's a different world, so therefore, but yes, it suddenly feels sci-fi when you start thinking of it as a planet instead of it's weird.
Yeah,
a world and a planet. I mean, they are essentially the same.
Is it a different world, or is it just like an alternate timeline?
Ooh, well.
Ooh, no.
There you go.
Then it works.
Multiverse, let's go.
The Reniverse.
Oh no. Yeah.
Well, we have to talk about Baynon's hair, don't we? There's no getting away from that story.
Well, I mean, until someone actually writes something in the comments about it, have we ever had someone actually say anything in the comments? Because I swear we haven't.
I'm not sure we have.
No,
sure we have.
It baffles me to this day. But yeah.
So
James, what the heck did you do, James?
Got a haircut. I'm sorry. Just gotta. I don't know. We literally showed. I remember going to the hairdressers, and my dad was there to make sure, make
Make
sure
sure
that
it's
it.
the same.
Yeah, we showed them a photo. We showed them a photo, and just ended up too short. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think
I
we
still
went to a. Sorry.
no, carry on, carry on.
We went.
Just
I
having
mean,
flashbacks.
yeah, we went to a barber's, and I felt like my hair was probably a little too long for that. Maybe they didn't expect it to like, because it's like kind of curly, so you cut it and then it gets shorter after it dries. So maybe it just threw them off. Maybe it's my fault. I don't know.
No, it's not your fault.
No, it's not my fault.
Not your fault. We'll blame your
It's
dad.
your dad's fault.
We'll blame Paul.
I just remember
yeah.
the panic in the eyes of Kate and Michelle
I remember,
as the news was passed around.
I remember that too.
It was watching Paul come in. Paul, your dad came in, and I went, and I'm so unobservant, right? But for some reason, I went, "Oh, you've had a haircut." And then I turn around, and you walk in, and I'm like, "Oh," with this sort of like.
I remember the
going
look
on
on
in my
your
head.
face. I remember the look on your face seeing my haircut for the first time. Because I
And me
didn't realize.
trying to think that I'm masking it, but probably not, because heart on sleeve type person who just like everything is very obvious. It's like the horror. We were literally panicking, going, "Do we need to get a wig? What do we do?" Because it turned from like a bob that was basically your shoulders to like under your ears, like very short and then like short at the back. And it was like.
And so we'd filmed all the exteriors with James at that point, and we were just about to start on the interiors, right?
Did we do like, because obviously the pickups, I think I guess I can't remember if the hair was probably I remember where the hair was on the pickup, but it was behind. But we basically was like, we have a whole week of filming now, and it was one of those moments of I did not think to sort of go, no haircuts, no nothings, no changing before. I think if we need to trim it, we can get our makeup people to trim it and stuff like. But so it wasn't even a thing to think about.
To be fair, it's common sense. You don't really need to say that.
It was one of those moments of like, oh my goodness. But as we said, like. And I think, so interestingly, because I had this, we were talking about this recently. I was talking about this sort of phenomenon, I guess, of what the audience sees and notices as opposed to what they don't notice is kind of crazy to sort of think about, because they will notice. It all depends on when it happens, and I think the fact that the hair changes when you go inside because of the completely different environment. It's less, it just doesn't sort of register so easily with people.
Also, we dunked him in a bucket of water.
We also dunk him in a bucket of water. That was revenge. No, I mean, but the same thing, Chris, if you remember, like, because I was looking at this stuff recently, that we did exactly the same to a certain degree in Born of Hope. When we shot Born of Hope, the first day of Born of Hope, we had different wigs for both you and Beth, and it was 2 interior shots. And then everything else is different wigs. But the fact that it's like bed hair and like, people are inside and a different lighting, different setup, I think just helps to kind of mask it. But yeah, we were terrified that people were going to like be like, "Oh my God, this like crazy continuity thing." And like, nobody cares. Nobody notices. They'll spot something else like potatoes, but they don't care about the fact that your hair's like lost like 2 inches.
There's a nice story. Mark Hamill tells this story about the first Star Wars. And he was kind of really hung up on continuity and stuff. And they was filming a scene. He was coming out of some place and he was like, "Hey, shouldn't my hair be all like wet and mangled and stuff?" And then Han Solo leans in and goes, "Hey, kid, if they're looking at our hair, we're not doing our job." So that's the kind of thing. If they look at the hair, if they look at the potatoes, it's because it's not interesting.
bored by something. Yeah, exactly.
You're saying
So-
Alan was boring in his potato scene.
No, I said
I
they're
just,
bored.
the potatoes got a better review than I did. So yeah.
The bad acting in that scene is not any of the actual actors going to the it's the mushroom, because I didn't pick out mushrooms that I wanted, and I remember the mushrooms turned up and they were these really thick stubby little things that looked, and I remember, and there was a few takes where you turned it upside down or something, and I was like, could you at least turn it this way, because it just looks like you're holding a marshmallow, because it was such a sort of like weird thick mushroom.
They were top quality.
They were top quality apparently,
As
but
per
yeah,
usual.
I was thinking these little like cute mushrooms, and yeah, we weren't able to get them. So it was like, yeah, this is the type of mushroom we have in this world. and then someone left the fish in the bag for days. I think that happened at one point. Yay.
Bob and Bob.
Yeah. So again, drink when you see the hair change color. Change color. Ooh.
Change color. That would have been a different story.
Yeah. Maybe they will. Maybe we should do some visual effects and see if they actually notice if the hair changes color.
We got Baynon's hair length. We've got Spot the Extra, and I would have going to add into that Spot the Cart, because that cart appears more often than you think it does.
That cart is more famous than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in more things.
Yeah, you can extend Spot the Cart to some of Kate's previous productions as well. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's in the new block of season 3. It'll probably end up in the second block of season 3 as well.
Oh,
Yeah, probably.
We've got Karn and the cart. Oh my god.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah. They've never had a scene together yet, so yeah.
Yes, no, they have. They have.
Have they?
Season 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You can spot
They were both- they're
Khan
both-
and the cart in the same scene.
They're both kind of dead in that scene.
The cart's definitely seen better days. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, that's about an hour, so I think we should. Where did the time
Where did
go?
that go?
I know. I know. But I think we should.
And that's how long it took us to shoot season 1.
If only real time. Did we film it live? I don't remember that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. No. 36 days. 36 days. Yeah.
I should
Almost
one of those a week.
plus.
I can get a whole year out of it. Whole year of YouTube content there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It was great to see you all again and to have a chat about those fun times making season 1. I'll just remind everyone at home that we've got that Indiegogo coming up. Please go along to the link in the description. You can put your email address in. Yeah, it's always confusing trying to do that, looking at the mirrored image on the screen. Yeah, somewhere down there should be a link. Go put your email address in. You get notified. You'll get campaign updates, and we're really going to need everyone's help pushing the message out about that when we launch in early November. If you're on Patreon, which is if you really can't wait to support us, join our Patreon, and the patrons are actually going to get a little preview of the Indiegogo page, and they're actually going to get to give us some feedback and help shape that campaign a little bit as well. Thanks to all our followers, our supporters, everyone who's watched and joined us in the chat today. You've kept us going for 10 years. Okay, there was a bit of a break in the middle. It's a little bit of a cheat. There was a bit of a break in the middle. But we are still going.
It was
10
with us
years
for
later,
quite a chunk of that, for some of us anyway.
Yeah.
Never completely went away.
Not many indie projects can say they're still filming after 10 years. Well, actually, I've known some, and they still never finished it. But
wait, we still haven't finished either. Oh no.
Yeah, but that's deliberate. We're a series.
That's deliberate. It's deliberate.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. The Mouth of Truth will be back for the Indiegogo launch in early November. We'll be announcing the exact launch date pretty soon as well. So we will see you back live on YouTube, and we'll be talking all about season 3. So stay tuned, everyone. Take care, and good night.
Good night.